Good afternoon. Welcome to European Higher Education Fair Indonesia 2020 Goes Online. This is Institution Webinar Series. My name is Lukman and I'm going to be moderating this webinar. This webinar is going to be presented by Lancaster University. Please stay tuned until the end of this webinar because we will be holding a Q&A session. And if you have any questions about the presentation or anything to Lancaster University, you can submit the question on the YouTube's comment section throughout the presentation. And now, please welcome the representative from Lancaster University. The time is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so pleased that you could join us today. My name's Catherine Fletcher. I am the International Officer for Lancaster University. Normally, I'm based out in KL in Malaysia, but I came back to the UK in March when the pandemic started, and now, unfortunately, I'm still in the UK, but very much looking forward to getting back to Southeast Asia and back to my apartment, which I left thinking I would be away for just a few weeks, and 9 months later, I'm still here. So I would much rather be doing this face-to-face and talking to you face-to-face, but unfortunately, as with a lot of things at the moment, we're online. I'm just going to share my screen with you. Here we go. So I say, my name is Catherine. I actually worked at Lancaster for over 25 years in various roles around the university. So in admissions, in some of the departments, and then more recently in the global recruitment office. So it's a fantastic job, and I get the opportunity to come and travel and visit students all over Southeast Asia. So very lucky. So I'll tell you a little bit before I start. I'm going to talk to you about Lancaster, but what I do kind of really want to emphasize is that when you're looking at universities, it's really important to get sound advice and do lots and lots of research. Just because a university is a Russell Group, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right university for you. And I know that rankings and big cities tend to be a really big motivation for students that are making their university choices. But also, it's really important to look at things like employability, student satisfaction, the safety of the university, affordability. These are all things that you should really, take into consideration too when you're looking at universities. There are so many choices out there and so many institutions, not just in the UK, but worldwide. So it's really important that you make sure that you do your research. So on that note, I will tell you a little bit about Lancaster. So where are we? So we are based in the northwest of England, and as you can see on the map, we're actually in the geographical centre of the UK. So this makes it's really easy to access, whether that's via road or train or air. We're about an hour by train from Manchester, which is the nearest international airport to us, and about just under 3 hours by train to London. So it's a perfect base to explore the area, whether that's regionally or nationally. We've got excellent rail connections. So you'll be able to, to go and visit. As you can see on the map, we're close to Manchester and Liverpool. So, if you've got sort of musical or sporting interests, then we're not far away, and you can go and explore the larger cities around us as well. So we're about a couple of miles away from Morecambe Bay. We're quite close to the coast, and about half an hour from the Lake District. I don't know if anybody's ever been to the UK. This is a huge tourist attraction for us. It's an area of outstanding natural beauty, and yeah, it attracts a lot of tourists. And this is literally right on our doorstep. And one of the good things about Lancaster is that we don't just want you to focus on your studies while you're at Lancaster, although that's extremely important. But we also want to show you the best of the UK, and we do weekly and trips every weekend, either to the Lake District or up to local cities. So you get the opportunity to go and up to Edinburgh Castle. We take you to, you can go to Alnwick Castle, which is where Harry Potter was filmed. So if there's any fans there, you actually get the opportunity to go and learn how to ride a broomstick. And I think one of my favourite trips is down to Cadbury's World in Birmingham. So if you're a chocolate fan, you've got the opportunity to go and visit the chocolate factory as well. So we do try and excuse me, put lots of emphasis on extracurricular activities while you're at Lancaster. The city itself, it's a beautiful city, very historic. The origins date back over 900 years. We've got our own castle right in the centre of the city, and Lancaster actually has some classrooms in the city as well, in the castle. So if you're studying a subject such as law, you've actually got the opportunity to have some classes in a medieval castle. We're a relatively small city. There's a population of about 100,000 people. And when term begins, there's two local universities. So there's Lancaster and there's Cumbria. And these bring an additional 20,000 students from all over the world into the city. So it becomes a really vibrant student community. It's a compact city. It's very easy to walk around. It's very safe, and it's also very welcoming. As I say, there's a large student population within the city, and the local population are very welcoming of the students. They do a lot for the economy of Lancaster, so there's always events going on for students. And as well as everything you'd expect to find in a city centre, you'll also discover there's a scene that's kind of less mainstream. So there's lots of independent shops, there's street markets that offer, alternatives to the more well-known high street stores. There's film, theatre, literature venues, and we also have, there's also a lot of smaller exhibitions and performances that go on in Lancaster's many pubs and cafes and lots of outdoor spaces. So this is the university itself. This is our campus. We're a relatively new university, so we were founded in 1964. So for a good university, we're still quite young. We're only 56 years old. We're purpose built. We're campus based, set in 560 acres of parkland, and we're about just under 3 miles away from the city itself. So on the slide there, if you look to the top of the picture, that's Lancaster. So there's public transport that runs every 5 to 10 minutes to get you onto campus. And you can see there's the motorway on the right of the photo is there, which means it's really accessible to get to as well. So while it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, it's the rail networks and the road networks are fantastic around us. There's a perimeter road that goes right around the outside of the campus, but the campus itself, the centre, is pedestrian only, so you can walk from one end to the other safely. And there's a covered walkway that runs the length of the campus, so you can get to most of the facilities without getting wet. And if you do know anything about the northwest of England, we do have a bit of reputation for rain. All the student accommodation is located on campus. That's usually based around the edge of the campus. And we have about 14,000 students in total. 3,000 of those are international, and we have students coming from over 100 different countries. So the university offers a broad range of courses, right through from, we have our own foundation campus. We work with a company called Study Group, and they have their own centre on campus. So if you were coming to do a foundation year, you will be based on campus, and you'll have access to all of the facilities that all our undergraduate students will have access to. And then we go right through to a really wide range of masters and PhD programs as well. I think the bulk of our students are undergraduate, about 70%, but we do have the postgraduate numbers are growing, currently 30%, and they are increasing year on year. So there's the campus itself. I mean, there's everything you could possibly need within the campus. It's like a city within a city. So you've got access to a sports centre. We have our own medical practice on campus. And when you come to the UK, you would come on a tier 4 visa, and that would give you access to our National Health Service. So when you arrive at Lancaster, every student would register with our medical centre there. We have a pharmacy, we have a dentist, many sort of bars and restaurants and pubs, post office, banks, chaplaincy centre. There's literally, you could remain on campus for the entirety of your studies and not have to leave. We wouldn't recommend that. We want you to go and do a bit of exploring. But as I said, the city itself is only a few miles away. So you've got the best of both worlds. You know, you've got the kind of safety and the convenience of a little city within the campus. But if you want a bigger choice of alternative shops and restaurants, then 5 minutes away, you're into Lancaster itself. So we have 4 faculties at Lancaster. I think the management school, LUMS, is probably the jewel in our crown, and the one that Lancaster is most famous for. It's one of the longest established business schools in the UK, and it's ranked in the top 1% globally. And it's also recognised as one of the few business schools in the world to hold quadruple accreditation. And these accreditations are a quality mark of the degrees that we offer. They're awarded by professional bodies, and they state that we meet the highest standards required by industry. Alongside our management school, we also have the Faculty of Arts and Social Science, Health and Medicine, and Science and Technology. And then listed underneath the faculties on the slide there, you can see all the departments that come underneath those faculties. And we offer over 300 undergraduate courses and a huge range of masters and PhD programs as well. And all of our courses are ranked in the top 20 in the UK. I think one of the unique things about Lancaster is we offer a flexible approach to learning, and this can help you get the most out of your studies. So for most of our degrees, this means You'll have options to study 1 or 2 minor subjects right from the very start. So whether it's a subject within your major degree program or it's an entirely different subject altogether. So some of the subjects, some of these options come with entry requirements, others don't. And then for some of the degrees, say, for example, medicine or physics, due to your timetable, you just may not allow you to study the additional programs. But the majority of the degrees you can study. So you've got the chance to explore other areas, whether it's something that you've enjoyed doing at school or college, or whether it's something entirely new that you've always fancied doing and you see when you get to Lancaster. And this breadth of knowledge, it's really appealing to future employers. It's something else to put on your transcript and on your CV. So the university, we're constantly investing in the facilities on campus, so over 500 million since 2003. And this includes a state-of-the-art library and a learning zone, and these are both available to use 24 hours a day. We've just completed a brand new £41 million health and innovation campus. So this is where our medicine program, our biomedicine programs, and our sports science program is now housed. And we've also just completed a new multi-million pound management school refurbishment. So you can rest assured that the teaching spaces are all modern and fully equipped. And when you're not studying, we've got a newly extended state-of-the-art sports centre, and this has got a sports hall for everything you could possibly imagine. So if you're interested in badminton, there's trampolining, there are squash courts. We have an amazing fitness suite with over 100 different stations. There's a studio that offers a wide range of activities from yoga to aerobics to Zumba. We have a 8.5 metre climbing wall, a bouldering wall. There's a 25 metre swimming pool. And then all students, when they come to Lancaster, get access to these facilities. And also, as well as the indoor facilities, there's some excellent outdoor sporting facilities as well. So if you're interested in rugby, we've got 5 pitches, we've got netball courts, football pitches, tennis. We've also got some floodlit synthetic floor pitches as well, so that you can play whatever the weather conditions are, there you can go and play. And there's also a trim trail that runs around the outside of the campus as well. And this is about 3 miles long, and there's little exercise stations along the way. So like I say, we really sort of encourage you to get involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, as well as just studying and having your head in a book. We've got a very active students union, and they will help and support you with all aspects of your university life, whether it's academic or welfare related. They're there to support you, and they run over 230 different clubs and societies. Everything from academic societies right through to the weird and the wacky. So there's a small selection of some of them there. A lot of the cultural, we have cultural societies as well. So we have a fantastic Indonesian society and an amazing Malaysian society as well. So even though you're coming to university as an international student, and we encourage students to mix and really become involved in this international community, there's also going to be a familiar face there for you. And the cultural societies especially, there's always events going on, there's always some party to organise, always something to celebrate. So a real fantastic community there. And then if we do academic societies as well. So alongside your course, you can get involved with things like the Economic Society or Accounting and Finance. And we bring a lot of entrepreneurs, alumni onto campus, and they'll come and get involved in the societies. And you can do all this alongside your degree. And then through to the wacky. So, if you're interested in Harry Potter or Doctor Who or tea appreciation, we do encourage you to get involved in as many of these as possible. I think this is where my heart lies in Lancaster. So this is the one thing that I'm sort of our real uniqueness about us, and the one thing that I love about it. And it's really hard to explain how it will affect your university life until you actually arrive at Lancaster. And once you're here, you'll realise this is probably one of the best things. So we're one of only a handful of universities in the UK that's got a collegiate system. So we've got 8 undergraduate colleges and 1 postgraduate college, and every student and every staff member of the university is a member of a college. And this is your home away from home. It's where your accommodation is, but it's where your friends are. And we deliberately allocate colleges to students not by academic subject, but just randomly to give them more diversity. And the college is kind of like your family, like I say, your home away from home, and these are the ones that are going to look after you while you're away. So there's a wide network of support available within the college, and it's not intrusive, but it's there should you ever need it. Every college has got its own social and study space, and has an elective body of students called the JCR, which stands for Junior Common Room. And these students organise the social and sporting events within the college. There's competitions going on, sort of intercollegiate competition. So it's competitive, but it's like a friendly competitive and a friendly rivalry. It really cements the sense of community within the college. And it's something that we are very proud of. And if you talk to any of our students or any of our alumni, they will always tell you which college they were in before they tell you which subject they studied. So they've all had, they've all got their own personality, but picking one usually comes down to your accommodation and what type of accommodation you want. But it is more than just a place to stay. If you come out of your room and go into the social space, there's always something going on, whether it's a band playing or a karaoke event. There's cooking classes going on. We hold quizzes. And even if you don't live on campus, if you choose to stay in the city, you still are a member of the college and you're always welcome to join in. So the college is yours forever. You will graduate with your college as well, rather than your department. So the accommodation on campus, we have won the best halls of residence in the UK 8 times since 2010. So the standard is incredible. We offer a wide range of accommodation, from shared accommodation right through to self-contained flats. You've got the option of a self-catered or catered accommodation, depending on whether or not you want to cook your own meals. It was something that I would recommend that you do when you share in a kitchen with other students. That's where you meet your friends. So cooking together is really good fun. But if you don't want to do that, there is a catering option available. So you get your breakfast and your evening meal thrown in with your accommodation. All the bills are included if you remain on campus. So your internet, your Wi-Fi, your insurance. As I said earlier, it's a very sort of safe and secure environment. We have 24-hour staff looking after the colleges, looking after the accommodation. So there's always somebody there around. And one thing I think, when you are looking at university, I think if you look at the big cities as well, the value for money, the cost of living tends to be a lot more expensive. So Lancaster is about 30% cheaper than, say, if you were going to live in London. So that's something to consider when, if budgets are one of the reasons why you're choosing a university. So it tends to be the further north you go, the better value you're going to get. This is just some of the selection of the rooms that we have at Lancaster. So the top left there, this is probably the majority of our accommodation. So they are ensuite bedrooms. So you've got your own bedroom, you've got your own study space, and then you would share a kitchen with maybe 6 to 8 other students, depending on the size of your flat. Top right there, these are townhouses, so 12 students would share one house. And if you look on the bottom left there, these are the kitchens, some of the kitchens in the accommodation, and that's actually probably nicer than mine at home. So you are getting a really good standard of accommodation. And the bottom right one there is a self-contained flat, so you've got everything. You've got your cooking facilities, your bedroom, your bathroom, all in one. If you wanted a little bit more privacy, and these tend to be an option that our postgraduate students choose, mature students, or if you are coming to Lancaster with a family or a partner, then these are ideal for you. So rankings wise, we are consistently in the one of the best universities in the UK. So out of 120 UK universities, we're consistently in the top 10 in the 3 main league tables. So for 2020, we were number 7 in the Guardian and the Complete University Guide, and number 8 in the Times and Sunday Times. We are world rankings 128 in the QS and 146 in the Times higher world rankings. And it is something that we are very proud of for a university that is so young, and probably the worst possible year to get it, but we were actually named International University of the Year for 2020. And part of this was down to the other kind of the importance we put on student mobility, which is kind of ironic this year, as nobody's been able to travel. But it is something that we are very proud of. And when times return to a more normal more normal environment. This is the options for travel abroad and study abroad are incredible at Lancaster. So Lancaster's been awarded the highest possible score in the UK government's Teaching Excellent Framework ratings. So our TEF goal rating is based on the high quality of teaching, the teaching facilities that we have, the quality of the learning environment, and the graduate employability. Right, we've got a fantastic career that students go on to fantastic careers, and this is real recognised as a sign of standard. So we are proud of our TEF gold. And it puts Lancaster in a small group of sort of newly emerging universities who can claim to be genuinely elite, and they're ranked high both for excellent teaching and excellent research as well. So our teaching staff, they're doing cutting edge research, and they are bringing real modern, what they're bringing their research into the classroom as well. So you're getting the experience from the academics there. And finally, I think this is probably one of the really important reasons why you are coming to university is when you graduate, you're going to be equipped with the confidence and skills to experience, to go out into the world and try and find that perfect career for you. Lancaster is ranked third in the UK for global employment. So 97% of our students are in work or further study within 6 months of graduating. So the prospects are excellent. And it's another statistic that we're very proud of. We have an amazing career service, and they offer bespoke specialist support throughout your time at Lancaster. So right from day one, they will be there encouraging you, to get involved with not just your academic studies, but we put on a wide range of workshops and advice, one-to-one guidance, to help you sort of explore your career options. We can introduce you to graduates and employers who have first-hand knowledge of the sectors that you're interested in. You can book consultations with our staff to help you develop your career plan, and they'll make sure that any job applications that are tailored and effective, and they'll help you at every stage of the recruitment process. So whether that's with your CV, your application, or interview skills, they'll support you with that. They'll also help you identify and sort of source the right work experience for you. So, as well as your academic qualifications that you're going to get, they will also support you with getting some hands-on experience. And this is the sort of thing that employers are looking for. We do have a lot of employers that come onto campus and they give talks as well and runs workshops, and they'll tell you about opportunities for students and for graduates. And they're a great opportunity to develop your skills and learn more about the organisation that you want to work for, and help you with your career planning. So not only is this career support available while you're at Lancaster, but it will remain accessible to you for life. So years after you graduate, you can still come back to Lancaster and access the career service, and they will always be available to support you. So that is the end of the presentation. I'm just open to questions now. I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
And take a quick drink.
Thank you for the impressive presentation about Lancaster
Thank
University.
you.
Now we're doing the Q&A session. So if our watchers on YouTube have any question, you can just type it down. Okay, now let's go to the first question. Is there any fully funded scholarship?
So
And
for undergraduate students, it's not so healthy, but for postgraduate students, we do have in particular our management school, we awarded over £6 million worth of scholarships in 2020. They vary. We don't have a specific scholarship like a university scholarship, but every department sets its own budget. So they vary from sort of £2,000 right through to full scholarships, and it all depends on the program that you're looking for. If you do go onto the university website, I will post a link, but every department has its own budget for scholarships, and you'll be able to see which one is on there. So it's worth doing a bit of research, but yeah, there is the opportunity for some full scholarships.
okay, the next question is related to the pandemic. What about next year study program? Will it be held online or in classroom?
That's a very good question. If I had a crystal ball, so in I'll tell you what's happened up until now. So in March, when the pandemic started, everything went online, and then in September, when our new term began, we've done a mix of blended learning. So the larger lectures, where we have huge numbers of students in classrooms, and they are online, but we've done as much teaching as possible face to face. So the smaller workshops, the seminars, the groups, we've broken them down into much smaller groups of say 5 or 6 students, and they have been done face to face. As you may know, we're in the middle of another lockdown at the moment. That's just coming to an end. But the universities are still being allowed to teach face to face as long as we adhere to all the restrictions and guidelines. Next year, if students are overseas and they can't physically get to Lancaster, then there is the option to continue studying online. But we're going to try our best to do as much face-to-face teaching as possible. So it's kind of hard to encourage students to come to the UK under the circumstances, but you're not getting the same student experience while you're sat in your bedroom doing it online. So we are trying to make it as near normal as possible. And we've had some fantastic news over the last sort of 48 hours, the last week, about vaccinations that are now about to be rolled out. So fingers crossed, by the time the next academic year starts in September 2021, it will feel a little bit more normal, and fingers crossed students will be back on campus and life will have sort of regain some sort of familiarity.
Okay, yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
So, if we want to get into Lancaster University, what are the documents we have to prepare?
So if you're coming to do an undergraduate course, you will apply through UCAS, which is the University and College Admission System. And what we're looking for, you can apply before you get your qualifications. So a university would make you a conditional offer, and then that would become unconditional once we got your transcripts. So we're looking for transcripts. We're looking for a personal statement, which tells us a little bit about yourself, why you want to do the course, your background, where your sort of career aspirations are. And then we're also looking for a reference from your college or your school sixth form tutor or counsellor. So that's for undergraduate. The deadline for undergraduate courses is usually the UCAS deadline is the 15th of January each year, but we do accept late applications. The only sort of consideration is to think about, courses that are very popular do fill up. So if you can meet that deadline, then it's better if you do. For postgraduate courses, it's a really simple application process. You go onto the university webpage and look at the course program page. There's a little apply now button, and it's kind of similar. We're looking for your academic transcripts. We will be looking for some English language requirements. So you'll need to upload either IELTS or your English language qualifications. We need 2 academic references. And then again, a short personal statement, just a little bit about yourself and why it is you want to study, what you can bring to Lancaster, what we can do for you, what sort of career aspirations are. For scholarships, like I say, there isn't a specific application form for the scholarships at Lancaster, but the admissions officers look at every application that comes in, and they are competitive. They are based on academic merit. So if the admissions officer will let you know at the point of offer if you are eligible for the scholarship or not. So it's just one application for postgraduates. You don't have to put a special scholarship application in as well.
Okay, the next, you mentioned about IELTS. IELTS. So, what's the average score in RAF to enter the Lancaster University?
So it again depends on course. It ranges from 6 to 7. So undergraduates, we're looking either 6 or 6.5, and for postgraduate, we're looking average about 7, with a minimum of 6 in each of the individual elements.
Okay, thank
We
you. The
do
next, oh,
pre-sessional English as well. Sorry. So if you were a little bit short, then we offer sort of 4, 6, and 8 week courses prior to arrival at Lancaster. So there's always the option to sort of just lift your academic English up a little bit if you wanted to do that.
oh, that's so helpful. That's great. Okay, the
Okay.
next question. Is there any nursing program for PhD?
We don't have nursing. No, we have surgery and medicine, but we don't have a specific nursing PhD, unfortunately.
Okay, the next one. Is there any transfer program from associate to bachelor degree in Lancaster University?
We do accept transfer students. We do have some, like I say, I was based out in Malaysia. We work closely with Sunway University in Malaysia. There's a transfer program there for students that aren't part of our sort of a part of our accredited partners. Then we will look at cases on a case by case basis. So we need to ensure that your previous studies map with the current programs that are running. We don't want you at a disadvantage where you're coming into a halfway through a course and you haven't got the same background as the other students, because it would just be unfair to you. It is a possibility, but like I say, the admissions team will look at every case on a case by case basis when you put your application in.
Okay, the next one. You told us that the monthly uh, so the average monthly living cost is 30% lower than most of the
If you were to live in
city.
London, yeah, if you were to live in London, the cost of living is so much higher. Most of the big cities are that way. So the further north you creep, it tends to be the better value. So we would recommend that a student budgets between about £9,000 and £10,000 for 1 year, and that would include your accommodation, that would include your food, your local travel, entertainment, that sort of thing. Obviously, if you've got an extravagant lifestyle and you're caviar and lobster every night, then you might have to lift that up a little bit. But if you can be a little bit on a student budget, then yeah, between about £9,000 and £10,000.
Okay. Can the students do a part-time job there?
You can. So you would come to Lancaster, you'd come to the UK on a tier 4 visa. And that means that you can work for 20 hours per week during term time, and you can work full time during the vacation. There's lots and lots of jobs on campus. A lot of our students do take up part-time work to sort of supplement their income while they're studying. We have a fantastic service called the Employment Register Service, and they advertise jobs that are available on campus, part-time jobs, but also part-time jobs within the city itself as well. And these can range from, being a student ambassador for the university to being a pot wash, to working in ISS on the help desk, helping students with technical problems, filling up paper in the printers, doing research work with departments. So as long as you're not too fussy about what you do, you can definitely get a part-time job. But there's such a wide variety of options available for you there as well.
Okay, the next one. Is there any GPA minimum requirement for engineering in master degree?
So we are looking for a 3 out of 4 GPA for the bulk of our master's programs, and that includes engineering as well.
Okay, the next. You also mentioned that you're from Malaysia. So, what's the biggest challenge as a Southeast Asian student there?
In the UK, what's the I think there's a bit of a lot of students get a bit of homesickness. That is a challenge, but we kind of counteract that by just, like I mentioned, the societies, and I mentioned the colleges. We also have the university runs like an international buddy system. So students we will link you up with one of our current international students. So before you arrive at Lancaster, we will put you in email contact with a student so you can ask questions on a peer-to-peer level. It's very nerve-wracking. It's a huge sort of culture shock for a lot of students that are coming over to Lancaster. So yeah, homesickness is probably a challenge. English language, again, is a challenge. You're learning in a very sort of a different environment. But we do our best to kind of to help you settle in, and there's lots and lots of support available. We have international officers in all our colleges, and the students, they offer so much sort of support and welcome, and they'll help you orientate yourself while you're at Lancaster. Oh, I tell you what, the biggest challenge is the weather. There you go. So yeah, make sure you bring a warm coat and and some boots. I think in when I was in Malaysia, the weather's constant all the time. So that it comes light at 7:30, goes dark at 7:30. You know exactly when it's going to rain. It's going to be warm. Whereas in the UK, you just don't know what you're going to wake up to. And because we're seasonal as well at the moment, it's going dark very early, and I kind of find that quite hard. So it's dark at sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock. But yeah, the weather takes you by surprise. So make sure you've got your shorts for the summer, and you've got your warm winter coats and your hats for the winter.
Okay, that's really fun. Okay, the next one. There are a few questions about the program. Can you re-show us the program that you the Lancaster have?
You want me to show you the slide with I mean,
Yes, please.
well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can put a link to all of our programs in the chat.
Oh, our watchers are in YouTube now.
Okay. Right. Let me show you the slides again. Let me share my screen again.
Sure.
Here we go. So let me flick backwards. There we go. So those are our four faculties, and then the subjects, the departments are listed below them. So, but between them, we do a lot of sort of multidiscipline courses as well. So there's over 300 undergraduate programs available, and 200 masters programs. So we do a lot of sort of cross department subjects as well. So the opportunity not only just to do a single major subject, but you can also do joint majors as well. Both undergraduate and the master's programs, they have a selection of sort of core modules and elective modules. So you can kind of, for most degrees, like I say, there are some exceptions like medicine and physics and engineering where the timetable is quite restrictive. But for the majority of the courses, you can kind of tailor make the degree to what you enjoy, where your passion is, where your career aspirations are. So it's a really flexible way of learning.
Okay. Uh, how do our viewers reach you? Like any websites or Instagram, anything?
If I go to the very final page, my details. So there you go. My email address is c.fletcher@lancaster.ac.uk. And then the web page there is the main university web page where you can go and have a look at all the different courses available. Every course has its own page on there, and there's lots and lots of information about the university in general. Lots of student experience videos on there. We have virtual tour of the campus, so you can go and have like a 360-degree look around the accommodation. Lots of information there. But if anybody has any questions at all, please do email me, and I'm happy to answer anything that I haven't covered today.
Okay. Um, we're almost toward the end of our session.
Okay.
This is a little bit about academic. What's the difference about health research and Lancaster Medical School?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
What's the difference about health research and Lancaster Medical School?
Oh, okay. So it's the variety of courses that we offer. So the health research course that's one of our postgraduate courses, one of our postgraduate courses, and we also offer a PhD in health research as well. The medical school run the sort of medicine and surgery courses, so they're more focused at the undergraduate students that are coming in to do our medicine course.
Okay, before we close, um, can you tell us one fun fact about Lancaster University that not many people know?
Oh, a fun fact that not many people know. Oh, I think, well, a lot of people know about it, but one of the most amazing things about Lancaster, if you do your history at school, there's the War of the Roses. So every year, Lancaster University and York University have the largest sporting competition in Europe. And this is something that the students are very passionate about and very competitive. So all the Lancaster students dye their hair red, because we have the red rose, and all the York students dye their hair white. We compete 1 year at Lancaster, 1 year at York, and it takes place over 3 or 4 days over a weekend in May, and it is the most incredible weekend. It's just such a fantastic atmosphere, a real festival atmosphere. So it's not so much something nobody knows about, but a real fun fact, and one of the real sort of draws to Lancaster. If you're interested in sport, there's over 150 different competitions go on throughout the weekend. So that's an incredible thing to get involved in.
Okay, I guess we are out of time. Thank you so much, Miss Catherine Fletcher, for all the informations. I hope we can meet again later on.
I hope so too. Well, hopefully, when things get a little bit easier, I will be over there and I will see you all face to face. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you everybody for your time and coming to listen today. And please do stay safe.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye for
Bye
now.
bye.